What if agility wasn't just for tech teams or corporate projects, but a life skill for emerging leaders just like you? What if working smarter, not harder, wasn't just a productivity hack, but a spiritual principle that speaks to the man and manager? And I'm talking about all of mankind, not just men. Listen, I'm learning that agility is more than speed and accuracy. It's the ability to adapt with grace and respond with clarity and align with what's needed. Somebody say it now, now in life, in leadership, and in business. And in today's fast-paced, ever-evolving world, especially with the rise of AI, that just might be the most powerful leadership tool we have. But in this episode, it's all about bridging inner and outer work. And our special guest brings the frameworks that guide execution, Agile, and Scrum. And I bring the framework that fuels inner elevation, alignment, presence, and oneness. And together, somebody say together, right? We merge structure and spirit, process with presence, execution, and elevation. This is an episode that you have been waiting for. What's good, Elevation Nation, and welcome to the Elevate It podcast, where it stands for inner tugging, the divine, the God pull within, guiding us in self-awareness, relationships, and spiritual unfolding through inner work. I'm your host, Christian F. Johnson. Let's go! Listen, today's guest is someone whose energy, I'm telling y'all, is contagious, all right? She is a certified Agile coach, leadership consultant, a Scrum master with over a decade, y'all, of experience helping people and teams move from stuck to strategic. She has got a story that is going to light you up, a message that will leave you questioning whether you are ahead of the curve or about to be left behind in this age of AI. Elevation Nation, please help me welcome to the Elevate It podcast, Sunny Johnson. Let's go. Let's go. Hey sis, how you doing?
I'm in here shocked right now. Like, I'm getting to the stage. I'm doing great.
If you ever need a hype man when you get introduced to go on stage,
You're hired. You're hired already.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I am wonderful. I'm so grateful to be a part of this show today and ready to just move forward. Thank you, Christian, for inviting me today.
Look, my pleasure. Look, we've already had conversation, and I will behave. Okay, I won't talk about how we first. I won't go into all that other stuff. Okay, I'll behave. However, I feel like we family, especially with the last name thing, right? Going on, right? So as of now, I don't think we are related, but we may be. We got to do a little bit of research back there, all right?
Right.
However, so Elevation Nation, y'all want to know same things I know a little bit ahead of y'all, but we're going to get this thing together. I got to know, who is Sunny Johnson? All right. Like who are you? And how did your journey like lead you to this world of Agile and now conversations around AI? We got to know. Talk to us.
All right, so I'm trying to think, like, should I tell you the stage show, how I got to Sunny, or should I tell you the professional? I'm going to keep it real. So I am Sunny Johnson. And let me take you back for 1 second. I always like to tell my audience a little bit about my background, about the name, right? Because I want to give my mom props for naming me Shantae. Shantae was my government name. We can say that, right? And then that's that name you have is Sean, is my family name, the name that my family gave me. And then my God-given name is Sunny. And so I am Sunny Johnson, certified Agile coach, SAFE program consultant, Scrum master, with a mission to help people, professionals, moms, dads, anybody, leaders specifically, to live their epic life at work and beyond. My Agile journey is it's just beginning, even though I've been in it for a decade, but it's it began during a very challenging time of my own life where I was balancing motherhood to really understanding that demanding job and career and rebuilding my life after divorce. Whew, let me tell you, Agile gave me a language, okay, for pivots. I'm ready to
Mm.
change. I was already moving. And so I needed some sort of structure in order to get there. And Agile was that life saving structure. And for the strategies that I needed in my life, I was just so excited to have Agile. I even have my kids using Kanban boards and making certain that they get their laundry done, their schoolwork done, every kind of thing possible. But then we now have AI. Okay, that's my best friend, right? I love AI, not because it's like yours too, and not because it is doing my job. Because no, no, no. I'm not worried about it taking my job nor doing my job. It is actually enhancing me to become better. It's my partner. And I learned that it helps not only myself, but leaders to be able to think strategic and also future proof their impact. And let me tell you, if you are not using AI, if you have not even started to lead the change, you might as well know that you're already getting left behind. I always tell people, make certain that you're leading the change so that you won't get left behind. And so I integrate AI into my coaching, into my decision making, as well as my leadership. And that's just a little bit about Sunny.
No, I love it. I love it. And I'm gonna just jump in there because you said so many things. Listen, y'all, when y'all watching or you're listening, especially if you're on YouTube in the comments, please drop some mic drops, whatever you're hearing and receiving from Sunny or myself. You're a part of this conversation as well. And so it's a family aspect of it. But when those moments hit you, I'm telling you, it's for you and for us to move forward. Sunny, I've had so many people who are like split between the AI part, right? And they like, where am I going to use it this way? I use it every single day. Okay. Every day. All right. I've used it and y'all may not even know it. I use it already.
Right, right,
Right.
right.
I said, listen, that is one of some of the best I invest in it is, or some of the best um finances and investment that I've made in my business because I use it as an assistant. Right. I use it as an assistant, and that is a very reliable assistant. When I ask it to do what it needs to do, it helps me out pertaining to that. I appreciate it. So I've used AI far as podcast things, far as contracts, trying to get some things together, far as even in the area of coaching as well, like you're saying. I've used it even the books that I've been writing as well. And again, I think the difference is there's integrity that we have to have, because you could ask, specifically if you're using Chat GPT, do this and do this, and it'll write you whatever you need to. But when
Right.
you use it as an assistant, you're able to say, look, it saved me time. Me and my wife will go back and forth for a long time. And I'm like, babe, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? I still talk to her, but it ain't like that now. I'm saving her some space and time, right? Where I can go back and forth and have this conversation. So anyway,
And
I
you gotta
love it.
keep
I
something
appreciate it.
secret. You gotta keep something. You can't be telling
I
it.
something, but we keep it real on Elevated Podcast. So, I just want to keep the folks, keep them entertained as well.
Entertaining. I like
Listen, so no, I appreciate it. So I'm familiar with AI and we'll get to there, but you said agile. All right. And so maybe somebody's watching or listening and that's like new for them. So could you break that down? What is agile? What is an agile coach, especially Scrum Master? What is all this about?
right. I remember when I first heard it, I was the same way. One of my colleagues told me about they were getting certified as a certified Scrum Master, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know what that name sounds crazy, right? Then she was like, look, my
Yeah, don't
first
get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble on here. All right.
I was like, that sounds crazy. I'm gonna leave that alone. That name sounds crazy, and I'm just like, I gotta figure out, especially when she's a doctor, and so of education, and I was like, she's going into another certification, already has a higher degree, and she's gone into this other realm, but she's still yet is improving on herself and just wanting to share. And I said, I gotta get in. And when she told me about it, one, I didn't want to even get involved because I'm thinking IT, because most of the time Agile is in software development. And so I was like, I don't know anything about Agile. So let me break it down just a little bit. Agility is basically the ability to adapt. And and do that with intention. But not only that, it's a mindset shift. Because a lot of times we think that we have to go from point A to point B and it's going to take us so long to get there. But now just think about being able to get results every day because you are breaking those things into more manageable processes. And that is called Scrum. So Agile is the framework, the methodology that you use. And there's different components of Agile that you can use. And most teams are using Scrum. There's Kanban, but we're not going to get there. I don't want to bore you with all that. But if you are looking to be flexible and you're looking to have the opportunity to just be streamlined, focused, and have responsive situations where you get feedback every 2 weeks with something that you are producing. And if you were in IT, that will be a product or a feature. If you're in HR, that may be that may be that you are wanting to implement an initiative or do something, but you don't want to have it taken a whole year to do it. It could actually be done in 90 days in some sprints. And so that is what Scrum is. It gives you the opportunity to break down your work into a more manageable type of work. Now, the Scrum Master is that person who facilitates the team and helps them to be able to orchestrate that through events. We have 5 different events that we do through each iteration, which is usually between 2 to 4 weeks. And that just allows you to work on whatever it is the business desires for you to complete in that 2-week time frame. And then you get to get feedback. And so I'm making sure that I'm removing blockers, impediments. How many of you all have been blocked, stuck? You can get unstuck with Agile because you're going to be able to say, you know what? Okay, I'm stuck here. Let me put a pin in it and go to either to the next thing or find someone who can be your accountability partner if you don't have a Scrum Master. So there's just different ways that you can maneuver it, even if you aren't in the IT world, and you can just use that in your home. I don't want to bore your audience with all of that greatness, but it is one.
Born with greatness. Okay. We see what you did there. Okay. Listen.
Listen, let me tell you one thing. It does
Sure.
take you from chaos to clarity, right? And so in a regular working world, I've moved and helped teams to move from this slow, outdated process. And it's no knock on project management. We need that, right? But back in the day, we call that project management. Now we call it waterfall. And so that basically means that if you had a project that you were going to get done, you're waiting to the end of that project to see what happens, right? How about you can see what happens tomorrow? So you're writing your book, Christian, you can actually put a piece of your book out there and get feedback versus waiting until you publish the book. And some may not want to hear that particular part of the chapter, or they may say, you know what happens next? Can you give me another idea? And so you can do another iteration of that book, and you can also get feedback more quickly, and you'll know that the reader will be ready for that book when you finish it versus when you complete it as a whole without sharing.
Okay, I see what you're doing there too. Like we got to talk after this. I seen that too. Okay, Sonny. I see you, Sonny. Let's go. All right, Elevation Nation. Right? Y'all hearing that? Right? So I want us to put this in our own worlds. All right. So we have people who are entrepreneurs. Obviously, we have some people that are in the area of ministry. We have some people who are just in their career. All right. So, and we love the area of the personal, side as well. So I want to ask, how are these tools showing up in both your personal and your professional life? Right. And then what are some ways that, no matter where we are, how we can start applying this to our lives?
All right. So when I first started with Agile, the world of it, we started with a simple Kanban board. It's basically, you think about it this way: everything that you want to do is probably big. You have all these great big ideas, but people get stuck in the big because they don't know exactly how to get there because it doesn't seem tangible. It seems out of reach. And when you can break it into something smaller, let me give you an example. Let's say you're an entrepreneur and you want to eventually be able to create an ecosystem that allows you to have like something I like to call a cooperative super living, where you're partnering with other corporations, other companies, organizations. That's a big dream, especially for a solo entrepreneur. But how would you break that down utilizing Scrum or Kanban. Let's say, for instance, we're going to keep it simple. Kanban. It's a board, and it's basically you draw a line on a white piece of paper, just like this, right? I should have had you a board made, but you'll have 3 columns, okay? And this first column is your backlog. That you're gonna brain dump every kind of idea, everything that you want to have in that business. You're gonna dump that in your to-do. That's called your backlog. Now we know we can't get all of that done. How many times you've written a to-do list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you try to check off some stuff, but it gets frustrating. Well, how about you see that to-do list getting smaller, but it's moving? You're making progress. So you're taking your things from the backlog one at a time, and you're actually looking at what capacity do you have? Because you're working sometimes as an entrepreneur. You're a mother you're a mother, and you may be working. You may be a wife or a husband, whatever it may be, a caregiver, and you got all these things tugging at you, but you still need to make that progress. So when you take things out of that backlog, that first column, you move it into to do. You know that tomorrow I have to do this. And then you set a time block and you say, you know what? I'm going to give myself 30 minutes to an hour to get this done. Once you get that done, you move it into once you put it into to do, you're going to move it into in progress. Ooh, doesn't it feel good to start making progress? You're like, I got something to do, and now I'm about to make some progress. Now, once you put it into in progress, you set aside this time block that you determine that you're going to do this. And then guess what? You're done. But you can't keep putting things into your to-do bucket and never getting done. But if you can take it one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, and at the end of your week, end of whatever sprint you would like that to be, that could be a day sprint, that could be a weekend sprint, that could be a 2-week sprint, a 1-week sprint. It doesn't matter. That's just the time frame you're wanting to give yourself to get that project done. But you want to have some retrospective or reflective time. And I know we're going to get there, but I just want to let you know it is possible if you take everything and break it down into pieces, but also have someone hold as your accountability partner to make it certain that you're getting that done.
100%. I love everything you're sharing. And I was going to ask you as well, when it comes to the leaders that you work with, um, why do you feel as though people don't get things done? Right? You have visionaries, especially entrepreneurs. We're visionaries. We got the big picture, like you said. I'm writing 10 books this year. That's the big picture, and publishing 10 books this year. I got this going on over here. This is how many speaking engagements that I want to get a month. And this is what's going on here. And at the end of the year, you're looking at it. This ain't going to be my case, but I'm saying there's some people out there.
Not you though.
Not me, not me, but ain't getting it done. So why do you think? Why do you think we don't complete things?
Okay. First of all, it's called overcommitting. In the world of Agile, in our lovely world, we have to plan. And a lot of times we just don't want to plan. And we want to avoid the planning part. We avoid the part that we've been told, write the vision and make it plain, right? We got it all in our head, but you got to think about it. All of that is in our head, but we're not writing it down. And I don't know about you. I have pen, paper everywhere. I'm trying to write down and jot down things. But the thing is, I believe why people can't get it done is because they feel like it's not tangible and they can't reach it. And also they don't have a system in place to move from this chaotic place that they're in their head to a place of working smarter and not harder, right? And
Mm-hmm.
also a lot of times we are in corporations giving these directives, things that we can't control sometimes, and we don't know how to say no because you're getting paid to do what they're telling you to do. But just think if you are the leader who said, let's take a moment, Mr. or Mrs. XYZ. I think that I have a way that we can actually implement this type of workflow to allow our teams to get things done more easily and more quickly that allow us to get quicker feedback. And so they're going to be interested because one, we want to know how can we get a return on our investment. And so it's going to be important for those persons that are looking to grow and not be stuck in their life, not be stuck in a career, not be stuck in a role or just day-to-day tasks. to be able to have some sort of methodology or tool or system that's going to allow them to be able to get the work done. But also, you have to be true about your capacity. And capacity
Yeah.
is really important because we take on all kind of things and we have all kind of big visions, but we also have to break those things down so that we can have some sort of commitment and make certain that we're not overcommitting. Because when you overcommit, more than likely you're not going to get a lot done. You may get bits and pieces. You may start the laundry, go and do the dishes. If you're working in leadership, you may start on an email draft, then you're doing some metrics, and then you're having a meeting, and by the end of the day, everything you have a gazillion tabs. Nothing is done. But when you have a daily stand up, a daily accountability, a communication with your stakeholders, a communication with your family about what you're doing, doesn't that seem even much more better for those people, those stakeholders, those contributors, because they understand what you got going on and they
Mhm.
can either back away from you some, give you some space to be a owner of your time and your day, a owner of your work. Wouldn't that be grand for you to be able to do that? And so I think that if we just began to recognize that we have to stop overcommitting and get out of chaotic situations and apply these tools and methodologies, I think that more people will see that we can be more productive in less time, that will allow us to be able to get more closer to those dreams, visions, as well as those return on investments that we have put into place.
I love it. I love it. And thank you for sharing that. And the one thing I was excited about this episode for various reasons, but one reason why, and I said it in the intro, is on the Elevate It podcast, we talk a lot about spirituality. I share with everybody, yes, I am a Christian, but this is not a Christian podcast per se. So wherever your faith in there, it's not a judgment pertaining to that. But at this moment, at this area where I am, I'm just asking us all to consider being in a posture, in a place where we're choosing our higher thought, a thought of love, of light, of beauty, and moving forward in those things. And so I hit hard. There is a spirituality and presence. So Elevation Nation knows I am one that will choose presence over performance any day. Now, the reason why I was really excited about this is because there is a blend. There is one coin and two sides to that. That doesn't mean because I choose presence over performance that I don't care about performance, one, and two, and that it's not important, right? And when I'm talking about the area of presence and doing different things, like, yes, for everything that I do, that my wife does, all the hats that we have, if it's in the ministry side, if it's in our marriage, if it's with our 3 kids, if it's with all those things, like, it all takes processes, it all takes checklists, it all takes calendars. If we tell other people, if it don't get on the calendar, it don't get done, as far as everything that's going on. But in the area of presence and the mindset, the integrity that we have, that's the thing that I hit the heart as well. So you said this area of a mindset that we deal with. There's a mindset that's connected to these systems. Like, you can have the best plan in place, you can have all that, and you can be a jerk. You can be at a point in place and you can have those things. And so, I just encourage us, as we're getting our systems, to also be at the place to realize that we're doing the inner work to match that as well. And that's why I could see, this is what was attractive to me. I could see by our interaction that there's inner work that has taken place. And how do I know that? Because in the first 5 minutes of our conversation, like you shared here, you gave me the journey. You let me know what you were, your name, that you were given by your birth name, as a point to where you are, knowing that there's been some inner work that had to take place for you to really even appreciate and value all that you're doing even now. And so I'm telling you guys, it's the best of both worlds. Take presence, but also understand that we're in a place where both matters. Operate in integrity. AI, yes, use it, but use it in integrity. Do yours, don't use it to be at a posture in a place where it's, like you said, it's doing all the work for you. Help it to let it to help enhance some things, to be a springboard, getting your focus. Be real with yourself. This year, Sonny, I had to stop lying to myself.
Mm.
I was just lying to myself and I didn't realize it. See, I'm not talking about malicious, like you just gonna know. And like, I'm writing about it right now. Like I lost my voice. Like, I was talking, but it wasn't my voice.
Mm.
because of the books I'm reading and the leaders that I'm dealing with this and doing all this stuff took place and happened. And now, especially even in AI too, I can ask AI to do this and it'll give me something that sounds good. But this is the question that I have for everybody listening under the sound of my voice. Are you resonating with what it is that you're standing for and standing with?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Sonny, you believe in this. You realize that this can be power to this to help us move forward. Do you believe in what it is that you're standing for, my brother and my sister that's watching and listening in? As you're at this place, realizing like there are people who will lose jobs, not because AI replaced them, but because they decided not to move forward and learn and enhance their heart and their mindset, or they did something that caused them to operate in a place that was not integritous. And so, do we believe in what we have? Are we willing to commit to this? Are we willing to grow from this? And so, again, I celebrate the sunshine, the illumination, the power that you personally represent, because it's clear as day. Your team, how you operate, and different things like that. This is an area of illumination. So, talk to me a little bit just about the inner work that is behind or supports this area of Agile and Scrum and AI.
Oh yeah. That is exactly right. You said a mouthful, because the truth is it does require inner work. One, you're working with a diverse group of people. You're working with people who may not see you as the person that should be leading them. Sometimes you may get into a situation where it's a male dominated workforce, and then as a female, a Black female, it can be intimidating at times. So you have to find your confidence, find your voice, and know who you are. And so, how I lead in that aspect in regards to that inner work, and I've shared this, and this is something that we talked about. I tell you, I don't know if I tell you this, but I got a book inside of my Google Drive, right? It's called Coming to the Light, Discovering Your Path to Purpose, Powerful Relationships, and Prosperity. And when you talk about losing your voice, going through a divorce and doing all that kind of thing, that is, I don't wish that on anyone. But I discovered who I was in that journey. And I knew that I did not have to stay in a dark place, that I could be light, that we are designed to be light in this world. And so, although now I have a title, I've always lived by the philosophy. One, I too am a Christian, and I do believe that God is directing every part of this journey that I'm on, and that everything is connecting back and forth to from the beginning in 2011 when I started this journey, just talking to college students, to being a mentor for working adults who are going back to college, to then going into becoming an algilist. It all begins to realize that it was about me having to check myself, checking myself when I'm working with people, humbling myself, being able to listen to people, being able to take feedback. All those times when I was struggling for certain things. I recall my first agile role. I had just went into working in a Medicaid office, or not necessarily Medicaid, but government. And I was working for Medicaid. But my experience of having lack at a point in time in my life, I had to be on Medicaid, right? But to imagine you're elevating your life again now with this role that put you in a six-figure income when you were at one time possibly in a place where you had nothing, right? And that's to be able to see how great God is in those movements and moments of obedience has been so just amazing to me. Just last Friday, I came up with a newsletter called Friday Retrospectives. And I was toiling with myself because I'm like, look, I'm Sonny Johnson and I want to have SMJ Speaks. And I actually got a contract and I'm working for an organization, but is that going to take me away from SMJ Speaks? So I'm having this tug of war with God, back and forth. And like, hold up, you gave me this opportunity to get out here and start speaking. Are we going back through this cycle again? And then I used AI. I did, but I I will tell you, my husband would say, make sure. So what I told AI, I said, act like a spiritual guide who uses the principles of Jesus and showcase to me what I am toiling with and how I can answer this. Now, I don't believe AI is my God. No way, no how, right? But I do believe that God can speak to us and he finds ways that we will be able to be receptive to that. And I received what he was telling me at that time. And what he told me is that you're not separate from what you're doing. This is all a part of the journey. And it doesn't matter in which form it comes. This is what you're supposed to do. You're destined to do this. And for that reason, you don't have to worry about God's time. You don't have to worry about anything because God multiplies. And if he gives you this opportunity, if he gives you that opportunity, he's going to cover you and allow you to be able to move forward. And that reflective moment, it gave me chills because I'm utilizing this technology and I'm hearing from the voice of God. I'm hearing from Jesus, him telling me, this is going to be okay. You go ahead and step in as Sonny Johnson, SMJ Speaks. It doesn't matter the title. That's who you represent. You're building a new case study as you get this new role. You're doing this, you're doing that. And that right there freed me. Can I tell you, I put that out there on a Friday. And then by today, at least 321 people have subscribed to that. Not that I'm trying to brag. I'm just trying to say that there is a purpose for us to have faith, reflection, and the opportunity to also be agile and also refine ourselves through the process. It's like a constant refinement and reflective. And every moment you're looking at how could I've done better? What went well? What didn't go well? How can I improve the next time? You're constantly asking yourself in this methodology, how can you be better so that you can be improved the next time, but so that you can be ready for that journey, ready for that yes, ready for that opportunity. And I believe that is where all of this evolves and allows me to be able to incorporate faith and focus and the ability to just be light in this world.
I love it. I love every bit of it, y'all. Put y'all emoji hands together for what Sonny just dropped out there, right? Because wow, listen. And I just feel this, so I'm gonna go with this for a second. And I'm coming to you, Sonny, so just so you can be prepared. But my I want to speak to the person that's watching and listening, and you're saying, look, I hear this, I'm resonating with this, and I just feel like I'm dealing with that toil as well, right? There's that wrestling aspect where I know that there's greater. I know that there's things that I'm desiring to do. I feel a little overwhelmed. I feel like I've been through this cycle before, and there's a little bit of self-sabotage kind of going on because you're feeling like, all right, well, if I do this and then this happens with that part that you're thinking about, that what happens is always going back to the past, and that's a story that's no longer yours, right? And you don't have to own it. You don't have to subscribe. You can hit the unsubscribe button to that and no longer be a part of that YouTube channel, so to speak, and you can move forward. But right now where you are, I feel like you're at a place and you're saying, okay, I really do want this. I really do. But and I'll just put it out there where I'm not judging you, but it's like I'm scared, right? Because like the way that you're feeling, what's on the other side, like, there's power, there's contracts, that there's opportunities, that this could literally change your life and the generations to come. Okay. But this area right now where you are, it's a place of fear, and that's the false evidence that appears real. And I'm going to pass the mic right to Sunny because I'm going to ask her to speak to this situation and just all of who she is and how she resonates with this, to share either a part of her story or just motivate and encourage you from that place of how to overcome that place of fear, realizing that I have a husband or I have a wife, I have kids, I have all these things. I could lose out. I could miss all these things. But what could happen if you don't move forward? And so that's the point where I want to get to now, so Sonny, in your own way and expression, speak to the man or woman that is watching this and that is resonating with that place of just a little bit of fear of really moving forward and feeling overwhelmed.
I'm an acronym person, and I'm gonna take it back to when I used to be in Toastmasters, and I couldn't think of something on my feet, so I'm like, well, I could think of something on my feet instead of just like trying to have it all written out, right? Because we're not perfect, and you're right. Fear does come into play a lot of times. I've experienced it, and it is the false evidence appearing real. But that's flip it a little bit, right? Let's say that fear is the F is actually faith. Put your focus into faith and think about all the things that you've overcome already, all the obstacles that you've been presented, but you've been able to overcome those. And I heard a pastor say the other day, God puts obstacles in front of us because that's what's going to stretch us and allow us to move forward. And that the enemy oftentimes put oppositions. And so you have to know the difference in those. But I say press forward in your faith. The second thing is, I would like to encourage you to elevate. And how you elevate is be honest with yourself. Is there something that you can improve on? Are there some things that you haven't done? If you feel like you've done everything that you're supposed to do, then give it up, give it all up. Just say, you know what, hands up, surrender, let it go. And believe that God has your back. But I'm pretty certain that there is a place every day I think that you could improve, whether it is smiling more, being present, listening more, taking time to pause, exercising, all of those types of things, right? The next thing I would say is we all get a whole bunch of certifications. Sometimes we just need to chill back and apply some stuff. Take some action. That's the A, right? Take some action. No more talk, no more telling your business and not taking action. It's just all about focusing and being really committed to what it is that you've desired to do. A lot of times we just keep talking about, oh, I would do this, I could do this, if I could, if I didn't have to work. Well, you do, unless you're rich, and then, I don't know, but you got to work, right? So take action. If it's 30 minutes, if it's 5 minutes, take action towards whatever it is that you desire to do and begin to do that every day and become consistent in it. And the R is going back. Rely on God that he can cover you because he can. Rely that he'll give you the opportunities, the contracts, the friends, the network, the newfound family members, that he will renew your strength, all of those R's, right? And then you will reap the reward, right? Because you were obedient. And so I think that if we can focus on that part of fear, I think that then you will begin to release. Then you begin to see that you'll be connected with the right people. And we get weary at times. I don't kid you not. I took a nap before this session, but I knew that I had something else that I committed to, right? When you have something that you commit to, you get a burst of energy. You're like, you know what, I gotta get on here. Christian gonna get me if I'm late. And so gotta get on here. But you'll get some fuel in. You'll be refueled. You'll get that when you have that purpose. You'll get it when you know you're moving in that right direction. You'll feel vibrant because someone will say, you know what, because of you, I'm doing this. Or because I'm watching you show up every day, man, that's empowering me to do what I need to do. And then sometimes you don't hear people saying things. They don't even know you're doing it. I don't know. I had somebody act like I didn't have any experience. That means I just get humble sometimes and you learn again, right? And you just say, you know what? They need to teach me something else. Maybe I just need to listen. I'm okay. Give them an opportunity to train and develop themselves. So it's all kind of ways that we can flip the script on our fear and allow us to move forward.
Oh, you killed it. You killed it, y'all. Yeah, see, she just took that false evidence appearing real and gave y'all something, an area of reverence, an area of love, an area of just vibing high within that. And I just appreciate what you released, because that does start with that area, that faith, that aspect of, having that heart, that mindset of being able to see things. I've been really thinking about too. You remember when we were kids, how we had the power of it, just imagination, right? You could fly, you could do this, you can do that. But then there's a point where as adults are getting into the area of grade school, so forth and so on, that's kind of taken from you, right? Be careful. Don't do this. Release the other fear that we was talking about. And I'm just starting to realize that in the area of creation, okay, there was a place that had to be an imagination that God had and has, that there was a place of nothingness, the place of emptiness, place of darkness. Scripture talks about that there's an area where there is a hovering over the deep and over the area of the water. There's creation in there. And so I want to encourage somebody who is there and you're seeing that it's darkness. I'm telling you, that's a blank canvas for creativity. That's a blank canvas for you to push your faith and your imagination and your mind. Listen, everything we're using right now started from somebody's imagination and their mindset, right? From the earbuds in my ear to the cup to the everything we have. Somebody's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna create a phone and we're gonna remove a cord. And somebody was like, nah, you crazy. Ain't nobody ever gonna buy a phone that ain't got a cord on it. And now look at this, right? And so go through the I'm crazy phases. I would encourage you, like, get those things over with. I got a million ideas like that where it's like, what? No, but let me tell you, if you just press into those areas and you see that and you just take you a nature walk, just be at a place to just imagine, go back to the childhood, that childlike faith and just and if you're having problems getting to there, find a kid, borrow one, don't take them, but borrow, look, observe, go over there and look and see how at a playground they're all all doing all this stuff and having all this imagination. Listen, because there is power in that place. There is power within you, and that's a God-given thing to imagine and think a thing, and it will be established to you. And so that's my encouragement to myself. That's my encouragement to you, Sonny, as well, is Elevation Nation, that we are at a place where I strongly believe, and I said this at the beginning of the year, I strongly believe that there are a lot of things that are going to happen as a form of a distraction. But the true area of us being able to elevate and stay higher is being able to look within and realize that I'm not saying that we won't go through things physically, but there is a cooperation, meaning that I'm fully God, fully a human, just like the example of Jesus, Yeshua ben Joseph, had fully God and fully man being here. So there's a cooperation. So with this body and everything that's going on, it may go through some things. It may have a diagnosis. It may deal with all these situations, but that doesn't mean that the trueness of who I truly am is affected by those things. So I want to encourage you as you're moving forward. You speak to that body, you speak to that mind, you tell everything to be aligned and realize that there's work to do, and we're going to move forward and we're going to come in agreement with what is, okay? And with the area of AI, we're embracing it. Y'all embrace it. Do not fear on the other side, right? We got a whole different realm for this now. Seeing how we can use it. Because if you ain't, the younger generation is, and they're knocking it out the park, okay? So if you have any questions related to that, any tools, any concerns, look, I want you guys to find Sunny on all her platforms. I want to find out, sis, where you are on social media. Let us know what your tags are so we can follow you on social. What you got out there? I know you on LinkedIn, but I don't know all the other ones you on. So tell me.
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn and I am Sunny M. Johnson if you were to look that up on LinkedIn. But live your epic life, LIVE, your YOUR, epic EPIC life, LIFE com is where you can find me, as well as sunnyjohnson.org. And I am looking forward to connecting. I love collaborating, talking with people. Christian, has been a great opportunity just to be able to share and even share things that I didn't think I was going to be sharing. Look at you pulling out things on this show here today. But yeah, that's where you all can find me, as well as you can email me if you wanted to. You have any questions, feel free to email me at SM as in Mary, J as in John, speaks at sunnyjohnson.org.
I love it. I love it. Listen, Elevation Nation, hear me. Follow her on social. Reach out, find more education. If she got newsletters out there, if she has books that she's putting out there, all that stuff. I want you not only just to follow it, support it, learn it. We even talk about the area of wealth and money and all those things. We're going to come back and deal with those type of things, because a lot of things out there. She has wisdom, she has insight, not just her, but who she's connected to as well. And so listen, Elevation Nation, go follow, hit the subscribe, whatever she has coming out. And then keep her in your thoughts as God is opening up new doors. And as she's speaking and as she's traveling and doing various things, we catch that on the other end of the prophetic. Well, anyway, I'll behave over here. So as things are shaping and happening in an expedited manner in a way, Elevation Nation, just get ready to see her face more, okay, in these different realms that she'll be operating in. All right. So get used to that, move forward within that. Sonny, before I let you go, I would love for you to leave us just with a final word of empowerment that we can take with us throughout this week. So, however, whether you want to talk AI, you want to talk spirituality, if you want to talk Scrum, Agile, whatever you just want to give us, whatever you got, we're open for it. Talk to us.
All right, this has been just an awesome moment to share with the audience. And I just wanted to just say that if you are stuck or if you feel intimidated in your hiring or your interviewing process, and I would encourage you to lead with confidence because you have everything you need. Everything that you have experienced in your life is a part of your journey, it's a part of your story, and it makes you who you are. I always tell people that if you lead with your story, not you don't have to tell all your business like some people do on the gram and all that kind of stuff. No, I'm not talking about that kind of story. I'm talking about what you brought to the table, how you are the solution. I promise you, if you become the solution, you will get that job, you'll get that door of opportunity, and you will be able to just be able to embrace life and just be a part of it. Because sometimes we sit on the sidelines looking at our own self, just not even really being focused and in tune. But I promise you, if you can do that, I would encourage you to do that. But I want to give you a couple of mindset shifts just really quickly, just so that you can remember what Agile is and how you can quickly use that into your practice in the mornings or in the afternoons, however you would like to. But when you think about your vision, that's going to be your backlog. That's going to be everything that you desire to do. Your weekly sprints are going to be your focus and your progress. And then also your retrospectives is your opportunity to reflect and to also grow. So I encourage you to utilize Agile, whether it's to heal, whether it's to be a better parent, to grow a business, and even map out your health goals, whatever that looks like. When you live in an agile way, you will stop waiting for someday, okay, and start building momentum now. I'm asking you the question. Are you ready to lead the change, or will you get left behind?
Hey, Sonny Johnson, everybody, put your emoji hands together. Let's go. Sonny, thank you so much for sharing your journey and wisdom, as well as your resilience with Elevation Nation. And to you, Elevation Nation, thank you so much. We don't take it lightly that you show up and that you continue to elevate with us. If you have not subscribed yet, you can hit that button and stay within the flow. If you want free book review previews, not reviews, previews, exclusive content and updates to our Inner Elevation blog and newsletters, different things like that, book releases, you can go to IamChristianFJohnson.com and you can click join my email list and we will move forward within that. Those of you who've been watching, I also am doing coaching with those who know that you have a book inside of you in this season and you need that accountability to help you get through there. So far, I've written 7 books. We have 10 that we will be writing. We have 1 that will be released this coming weekend. I'm not telling you all about it. You're going to have to go ahead and make sure that you are connected to the email list so that you can go ahead and get that preview. All right. So may good, great awesomeness continue to flow to you and through you all week long. You are mighty. You are powerful. You are strong. You are courageous. You are the head and not the tail. I speak nothing but life, nothing but power, nothing but joy upon you on everything that you do throughout this week. Blessings to you and see you next episode. All right. Peace.